They sold you a script. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money. And you followed it like a good little worker, never questioning why the people giving you advice were never rich themselves. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. The system was never meant to make you wealthy. It was built to make sure you stay exactly where you are trapped, struggling, and too distracted to ever break free. And if you don't wake up now, if you don't take control of your life right this second, you will wake up 20 years from now in the exact same place, wondering why nothing ever changed. Money is not what you think it is. It's not about hard work. It's not about saving. It's not even about intelligence. It's about control. The rich don't get rich by working jobs. They don't get rich by clocking in and out. They don't get rich by following the rules. They get rich because they own the system that you are trapped in. They create the rules, manipulate the game, and position themselves so that no matter what happens, whether the economy collapses, inflation skyrockets, or businesses fail, they still win. They don't play by the same rules as you. While you're struggling to make ends meet, they are multiplying their wealth effortlessly because they understand something you don't. Money is a tool, not a reward. The biggest lie you've been told is that you have to earn money. The truth is, money is never earned. It is created, moved, and manipulated. The rich do not work for a paycheck. They build systems that print money for them. They don't trade their time for wages. They invest in assets that grow while they sleep. You, on the other hand, spend your life chasing money instead of making it work for you. You think your salary is proof that you're doing well, but in reality, it's proof that you are still a pawn in someone else's game. If your income stops the moment you stop working, you are not rich. You are a slave to your next paycheck. The rich understand that real wealth comes from ownership. They don't waste their energy working to increase their salaries. They focus on owning assets, businesses, and investments that generate income without their direct involvement. When you work a job, your earning potential is capped by your salary. But when you own a business, an investment, or revenue-generating asset, your wealth is uncapped. There is no limit to how much money you can make because your income is not tied to the hours you put in it, it's tied to the systems you control. Debt is another weapon the rich use to stay ahead while the poor drown in it. They don't avoid debt, they leverage it. They borrow money to buy appreciating assets, while you borrow money to buy things that lose value. They take loans to acquire real estate, invest in businesses, and multiply their capital, while you take loans to buy cars, phones, and vacations that keep you trapped in an endless cycle of repayment. They understand that debt, when used correctly, is a tool for wealth creation, not a burden. Meanwhile, you are taught to fear it. You're told to stay out of debt, to pay everything off, to live within your means. And so, you stay small while they expand their wealth using money that isn't even theirs. Taxes are another game you were never taught how to play. The rich don't pay high taxes, they pay almost nothing. Wait, they don't do it illegally. They simply understand the rules better than you. They set up corporations, trusts, and offshore accounts that allow them to legally avoid taxes while you give away a massive chunk of your paycheck every year without question. Every dollar you earn is taxed before it even reaches your hands, and then you're taxed again when you spend it. Meanwhile, the rich structure their finances so that their money is taxed as little as possible. They reinvest their profits, use loopholes, and structure their wealth in a way that ensures they keep what they earn while you are left with the scraps. The stock market, real estate, cryptocurrency, these aren't just investments for the rich. They are weapons. They don't just put money into these things for fun. They do it because they know that money sitting in a bank account is money that is dying. Inflation erodes the value of cash every single year. So, while you feel safe stacking money in a savings account, they are moving their wealth into places where it can grow. They understand that money has to be in motion to increase. That's why they buy stocks, properties, businesses. They take money and put it into things that generate more money. You, on the other hand, hold on to your money out of fear, and that's exactly why you will never have more of it. The entire system is set up so that the rich will always stay rich and the poor will always stay poor. It's not an accident, it's not bad luck, it's designed that way. Every system in place, the education system, the corporate world, the banking industries, built to ensure that wealth stays at the top while you fight for crumbs. The reason the wealth gap keeps increasing isn't because rich people are just working harder than you. It's because they have access to knowledge and tools that you were never given. And yet, even when the truth is in front of you, most people refuse to see it. They defend the system. They believe that if they just work a little harder, save a little more, stay at their job a little longer, things will get better. They won't. You cannot outwork a broken system. You cannot save your way to wealth when the money you're saving is being devalued every year. You cannot retire comfortably when the people in power are making sure your earnings are drained through taxes, inflation, and debt. The rich have figured out how to play the game. They use leverage, ownership, and financial intelligence to stay ahead while the rest of the world plays by outdated rules. They own assets, you own liabilities. They use debt, you avoid it. They keep their money moving, you keep yours trapped in a savings account. They understand the tax system, you overpay without question. The question is, now that you know how the game is really played, what are you going to do about it? Will you keep working like a slave, or will you learn the rules and start playing to win? If you want to break out of this system, you have to stop thinking like everyone else. You have to stop following the script they handed you at birth, the one that leads you straight into a lifetime of work, debt, and limitation. Wealth is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It is taken by those who refuse to accept the status quo. But here's the hard truth. Most people will never escape. Not because they can't, but because they won't. They won't let go of the comfortable lies. They won't challenge what they've been taught. They won't take risks. They will cling to the very system that is keeping them trapped because stepping into the unknown is too terrifying. That is why the rich keep getting richer while the masses stay exactly where they are, too afraid to take control, too distracted to see the truth, too conditioned to break free. The first step to escaping is to stop trading time for money. The biggest scam in the world is convincing people that their time is only worth as much as their hourly wage. The truth is, time is the most valuable resource you have, yet you sell it for a paycheck that barely covers your bills. Think about it. Every day, you wake up and dedicate the majority of your waking hours to making someone else rich. You take orders, follow schedules, and give away your energy to a corporation that sees you as nothing more than a disposable asset. And at the end of the month, after taxes, after bills, after inflation eats away at what's left, you have barely anything to show for it. That is not living, that is survival. The rich do not play this game. They do not wake up every morning wondering how many hours they need to work to pay their bills. They create systems that generate income while they sleep. They build businesses that run without their direct involvement. They invest in assets that appreciate over time. They understand that real wealth is built on ownership, not labor. If your money stops the moment you stop working, you are in a dangerous position. You are not free, you are entirely dependent on forces outside of your control. If the economy shifts, if your company downsizes, if you get sick and can't work, everything collapses. That is not security, it is a ticking time bomb. The next step is developing a skill that allows you to print money on demand. The rich are not sitting around hoping for a raise, waiting for a promotion, or relying on someone else to decide their worth. They create value in the marketplace and they get paid accordingly. If you are not valuable, you are replaceable. If you are replaceable, you will always struggle. You must master something that makes people pay you directly for your expertise. It could be sales, investing, digital marketing, software development, or trading. The skill itself doesn't matter as much as the fact that it must be something that allows you to control your own income. When you can generate money at will, you will never be financially weak again. But skill alone is not enough. You must learn how to multiply your income streams. The average person has one income source. They put all their faith in a single job, a single paycheck, a single employer, and they wonder why they are always one step away from disaster. The wealthy do the opposite. They create multiple streams of income so that even if one dries up, they are never at risk. They have businesses, investments, real estate, stocks, digital products money coming from several directions at all times. They are never in a position where losing a job means losing everything because they do not rely on a job to begin with. Once you are making money, you have to put it in the right places. The biggest mistake the average person makes is wasting money on things that do not increase in value. They buy liabilities. They upgrade their lifestyle before they upgrade their wealth. They spend money as if it is infinite, not realizing that every dollar wasted is a dollar that could have been multiplied. The rich do not waste money, they circulate it. They take what they earn and put it into income-generating assets. They don't just buy real estate, they buy properties that pay them. They don't just invest in stocks, they own companies. They don't just spend money, they deploy it into things that will make them richer. The fastest way to break free is to understand that the game has already started, and you are either playing to win or playing to lose. Every financial decision you make either pushes you forward or holds you back. Every moment you waste, someone else is getting ahead. Every time you choose comfort over action, you are falling further behind. The question is not whether you can escape, the question is whether you are willing to do what it takes. Most people are not. They will read this, agree with it, and then go right back to their old habits. They will continue working for a salary, depending on one income, saving instead of investing, and avoiding risk like it's a disease. And that is why most people stay exactly where they are trapped in a financial prison they refuse to walk out of. But for the few who get it, who see the system for what it is, and refuse to be a pawn in someone else's game, the path to financial freedom is clear. Own, don't rent, invest, don't save. Create, don't consume, build, don't beg. The future belongs to those who take it. The only question is, are you ready to claim what's yours? Most people will never be rich. That is not an opinion, it is a fact. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they don't have opportunities, but because they refuse to do what is necessary. They cling to comfort like a child clings to a security blanket, terrified of stepping outside their predictable little world. They tell themselves stories, excuses, and lies to justify why they are not where they want to be. They say, not everyone can be rich, as if wealth is some lottery ticket handed out to a select few. They say, I'm happy with what I have, as if settling for a mediocre existence is something to be proud of. They say, money isn't everything, yet spend their entire lives stressing over bills, working jobs they hate, and living paycheck to paycheck. People do not stay broke because they have no choice. They stay broke because they fear what it takes to change. They fear looking stupid, they fear failing, they fear risk more than they fear poverty. They will happily work for 40 years under someone else's control, yet they won't spend a single year taking a chance on themselves. They will complain about being overworked and underpaid, but when given the opportunity to learn a new skill, start a business, or invest, they suddenly have every excuse in the book. I don't have time. I don't have money. It's too risky. And so, they stay exactly where they are trapped in their own limitations, refusing to see that the only thing standing between them and success is their own mindset. The world does not care about your excuses. It does not care that you were dealt a bad hand, that you didn't have the right education, that you weren't born into wealth. It does not reward effort, it rewards results. You do not get rich by being a good person. You do not get rich by working hard. You do not get rich by wishing for it. Wealth comes to those who move with purpose, make calculated decisions, and refuse to accept mediocrity. You either adapt and evolve, or you stay behind and complain about how unfair life is. The truth is, nobody is coming to save you. No government program, no company, no handout will ever make you wealthy. You will not stumble into success. You will not wake up one day and magically have financial freedom. If you want to escape the cycle, you must fight for it. You must rewire your thinking, unlearn everything they taught you, and be willing to sacrifice your old self to become the person who deserves wealth. But here's the most brutal truth of all. Most people are simply too weak to do it. They say they want wealth, but they aren't willing to leave their comfort zones. They claim they want freedom, but they cling to security like a lifeline. They tell themselves they will change one day, but that day never comes. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect conditions, never realizing that there is no perfect time. The time is now. It has always been now. And every second they waste is a second they will never get back. The rich understand this. That is why they act while others hesitate. They move quickly, they take risks, they put themselves in uncomfortable situations because they know that growth never happens in comfort. They do not wait for permission. They do not waste time on things that do not serve their goals. They see an opportunity and they take it. They see a chance to learn and they master it. They see an obstacle and they crush it. Meanwhile, the average person is still thinking about starting, still waiting for the right moment, still making excuses, still procrastinating, still wasting time. And that is why the gap between the rich and the poor keeps getting wider. The rich are playing offense while the rest of the world is playing defense. The rich are building wealth while everyone else is complaining about why they don't have any. It all comes down to one decision. Will you be the one who escapes, or will you be just another person who settles? Because make no mistake, there is no middle ground. There is no good enough. You either take control of your life or someone else will control it for you. You either become the one who dictates your future, or you will spend your life taking orders from those who do. And by the time you realize it, it will be too late. By the time you wake up to the truth, you will have already wasted years, maybe decades, living under someone else's control. The time to act is not tomorrow, it is not next week, it is right now. The only question that remains is, will you do what it takes, or will you let your fear decide for you? At this point, there are only two types of people left watching this. Those who feel an undeniable fire inside them, the ones who feel the weight of truth crashing down on them like a tidal wave, and those who are still trying to justify their failures, still clinging to the illusion that somehow, without action, things will magically improve. Yo, listen up. This is it, the moment where your life splits into two paths. Right now, you're at a crossroads, and the choice you make today will echo for years. Most people, they'll hear this, nod, feel a spark of fire, and then poof back to the same old grind. Back to the same dead-end job, the same empty bank account, the same cycle of waiting for Friday, blowing the weekend, and dreading Monday. They'll shrug, say, that's just life, and let their dreams collect dust. But you're different, aren't you? The truth hits hard. Most will stay stuck. They'll keep running on the hamster wheel, convincing themselves it's normal to live paycheck to paycheck, to feel trapped, to let life pass them by. But there's a select fear heir, relentless souls, who say enough is enough. They refuse to settle for average. They reject the script society hands them. They see the game for what it is and they play to win. The world doesn't belong to the timid, the hesitant, the ones waiting for a golden ticket. It belongs to those who grab opportunity by the throat, who know fear is just a shadow, who understand that failure is not the enemy and action is. Look at the elite, the ones at the top. They don't flinch at risk. They don't lose sleep over failure. They move fast, act bold, and seize what's theirs. Why? Because they get it. Staying still costs more than any mistake. Inaction is the real failure. It's the slow poison that keeps you broke, stuck, and full of regrets. Ask anyone on their deathbed what haunts them. It's not the risks they took. It's the chances they ignored, the dreams they buried, the moments they played it safe, thinking they had endless time. If this is hitting home, smash that like button and subscribe to Life Motivation Useless. Break that cycle together. Time's your most precious asset, and it's slipping away. Every day you waste is gone forever. Every hour spent scrolling, complaining, or hesitating is an hour someone else is using to build their empire. This world doesn't owe you fairness. It doesn't hand out trophies for effort. Success isn't a gift, it's a prize you fight for. Power, you don't ask for it, you take it. The ones running the show don't wait for approval. They don't care about haters. They move with swagger, with speed, knowing every second counts. They embrace change, crave being different, and live like time's their only currency. So, here you are, staring down two roads. One safe, familiar, predictably, one-way ticket to the same old life. The other, it's raw, uncertain, full of risk and fire. Most will pick the first path. It's easy, it's comfortable, it lets them stay numb, trapped in a system that chews up dreams. But you're not most people. You're tired of the cage, sick of the routine, done with letting life happen to you. There's only one move. Step into the unknown, face the fear, take the leap. If you're ready to rise, hit that subscribe button on Life Motivation US, and let's make it happen. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't meant to be another cog in the machine, another name on a roster, another soul drifting through life. You were built for more to create, to conquer, to rewrite your story. The future doesn't belong to those who wait, who hope, who wish. It belongs to those who decide to act, decide to fight, decide to be the one who says, I'm not staying stuck. Years from now, will you look back with pride knowing you seized this moment? Or will you be haunted by what could have been, regretting the chances you let slip? The clock's ticking. The choice is yours.